Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on a bit of a TV tour this morning to pump up his boss ahead of Tuesday's State of the Union. Mayor Pete claims Biden's accomplishments are extraordinary. Watch this.
What we're seeing is extraordinary. There have been so many accomplishments under this administration, it can be difficult to list them in a distilled way. At the end of the day, you can't argue with the extraordinary accomplishments, more than almost any other modern president.
Now, don't buy the hype. I say that a lot. But if he had them, he could distill them into a few key bullet points, couldn't he? Because that's what your job is this. But this could be the worst transportation secretary since Elaine Chao was an incompetent transportation secretary. We have been ill-served. We've got FAA problems. There's a major train crash in Ohio that's playing out right now. Is Buttigieg on top of that? We've got various problems. You and I fly a lot, Lisa, back and forth from Miami. You have delays. You have all kinds of problems. And yet these airlines and all these other industries are not being served. So when it comes to Pete Buttigieg, or Buttigieg, as Trump calls him, how do you rate his performance, not just this morning, and how he rates Biden's performance?
Well, doesn't it tell you everything that this is their messenger? As you pointed out, under his watch, the FFA is under the Department of Transportation. For the first time ever since 9/11, all planes were grounded under his watch. I mean, it's been a cluster with him in charge, but that is the overall Biden administration. I mean, have we ever had so many shortages of things in America? We've had a worker shortage, a fuel, gas shortage, baby formula shortage. What else? Shortage of this, shortage of that. I mean, America is a mess right now. Open borders. I mean, all of it is a mess. And the reality is, all that matters is the way people feel. Yeah. And ABC, Washington Post just had a poll. A record high Americans feel like they're financially worse off under Biden than any the polls ever captured before. So that's what matters. We all know that we're paying more in every regard. So that's what matters, not what these liars tell us.
Todd, I'll tell you this. If he was on with you, you would have pushed back. You would have asked questions. What are the accomplishments? There was no pushback in this interview. This was in softball. This was ping pong.
Well, you have to expect that from the places that he went, by and large. But to Lisa's point, you're going to hear, especially in the State of the Union, you heard it from Buttigieg, inflation is coming down. I challenge anybody out there watching right now to let us know if your grocery bill at the end of a shopping trip has gone down precipitously, or if it's gone down a cent. That penny, not that important. When it comes down to the $20 that it went up over the course of the last couple months, that's when you can talk to me. Also, the 12 million jobs that were created, those jobs weren't created. They came back because the pandemic went from pandemic to endemic status. They reappeared. Joe Biden did not create those jobs. And to the point of what did you accomplish, you're so right. You've driven our country down in the face of the rest of the world. Our enemies don't fear us. Our allies don't respect us. And in terms of the economy, the proof is in the pudding. Look at where we are. And, oh, by the way, the border. We didn't even get to mention that.
All right, so Tammy, here we go once again. Blame Trump. Pete Buttigieg says it's MAGAnomics. I didn't know that was a thing. But let's hear this.
Remember, while we're very proud of the extraordinary accomplishments, the 12 million jobs, the record-setting job creation, the comeback of the American manufacturing sector, inflation coming down, none of these things are guaranteed to go on, especially when you see some of the saber-rattling going on among House Republicans. If this kind of MAGAnomics takes hold,
so lower taxes, letting people keep more of their money, responsible spending. Tammy, California has a deficit in the tens of billions. Texas has a surplus. Florida's doing great. New York's not doing so great. So is it MAGAnomics?
Well, I love it. So is he now the ultra MAGA king of ultra MAGAnomics? The word MAGA has got to fit into a sentence. So clearly, President Trump is still one of the most powerful people in the world. It's made clear that Joe Biden can't get their way around what Trump accomplished. But I would also say people also are questioning how could a George Santos get elected, and what shock there is about someone who completely makes things up. Well, listen to Pete Buttigieg. Listen to this entire administration. It is fantasy. Every single time they speak, it's made up. It's made up things about, or spun things. But even just the notion of saying they've created jobs, This is about jobs that existed that are finally coming back after the pandemic. There's no real job creation. When it comes to manufacturing, you mentioned about baby formula. That is still a problem. These are things that have not been solved. So I think what we're looking at here when it comes to looking at Trump, they recognize him as the threat, and he's the threat because he accomplished the things that they could not. And their desire to reverse everything of his has created this ditch that they've driven the country in.
Right, so Lisa, you've run campaigns, you've been involved.
I have.
Biden's about to launch his campaign. The campaign element here is they set up, and by the way, the innocuous extraordinary without details. Tie it all together.
Well, I do worry a little bit about the mail-in ballot aspect, but, look, he's been a disaster. I mean, I have friends who are new moms who can't find Tylenol for their children. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you guys ever remember a time? I cannot remember a time in my adult life. I'm now 38. It's disappointing. That was on Friday. I threw out my hip this morning. It's like it's all gone downhill. But, I don't ever remember a time where you couldn't find. I mean, you go to the grocery store, you can't find things. Mm-hmm. We're a laughing stock. We are no longer a strong country. I mean, Rome is burning. All the things that we mentioned, open borders, not being able to find things in the grocery stores, record high inflation, record high gas prices. It is a joke. Joe Biden's a joke.
But Lisa, I would remind
so
you
is Pete Buttigieg.
that climate change is the greatest existential threat to our country.
You nailed it. You nailed it, Todd.
So
right.
please
Thank
remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, my God.
Don't
If you
forget
didn't point that out.
$7 a dozen eggs. All right, so.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.